There used to be the most beautiful house right here. It was like all wood and rustic. It had kind of a geometric roof on it. It was cool. I used to always love driving by it with my dad going out this way just so I could look at what a cool fucking house it was and think to myself I'd love to have a house like that one day. Hey, look, I cleaned my dash a little bit for you. Nice, huh? So, so I had topics rolling around in my head as I'm driving around thinking, and this came together as a piece that I could talk about. So, I'll start with blessed. Hashtag blessed. Okay, so most people, you know, when you see them using that word these days, most of the time, it's some kind of physical, material apparition that's good. Things or beauty or both. Blessed. Family, blessed. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's all good. Some shit's stupid when you call it blessed. It's not, right? It's just kind of like whatever. And you usually find that it's the females of the species that are usually whipping this hashtag out there. You don't see dudes usually going around with, hey man, buddy's got like a sweet job on the rigs and this old lady never left him and a few kids and it's all good for him, you know what I'm saying? Blessed, he's blessed. I don't usually, you don't usually hear dudes saying that kind of stuff at all. But I'm going to talk about what I think being blessed really is, because what's it like to not have any of that stuff and still just be grinning ear to ear every day happy? To me, that's what being blessed is, and that person probably has a good reason for that, you know? And like I was saying, the point is to become fearless, right? And so when you go and you listen to like Jesus talk, or if it takes Stuart Wilde to get the message to you, or maybe it gets Buddha to get the message to you, that you're looking for this ultimate peace right off the hop. That's kind of what the real blessing is, in my opinion. And they're making you fearless by letting you know that everything's going to be okay. It doesn't matter, you know, what goes on in the world. It's always been going on. You can live completely peaceful no matter what. And they say the ultimate is when you can be like in the middle of war and be like just calm, chilling. Now, I personally, people, there's the odd person in the comments who knows me, who's talked about some of my history, and I've talked about it myself too with fighting and stuff like that, right? And I don't fight anymore. I haven't in a long time. That's not my kick. I'm 4 decades in. I don't need to be having any trouble, and you don't heal as quick and shit like that either. So I don't anymore. But one thing about nowadays when a fight kicked off around me in the bar is I would just be sitting there with my drink. I would be watching these fools, shaking my head. My buddy Gabe Dog seen this a couple of times, and now he looks at me whenever it goes down, because that's about the only person I go drink with anymore, and since COVID's we haven't been doing nothing. But he just starts laughing right away because he knows I'll just fucking sit there and watch these people be fools, right? It's like the level of bravery and confidence sitting in the middle of the zone, and it's like, who even cares? None of the punches are pointed my way. If they are, all I have to do is touch them on the elbow and it'll keep it away from me. And I just sit there and keep calmly drinking, you know? And it's just funny to watch because everyone else is jammed up and they're surrounding it and trying to do this or that. And I'm just like, what are you guys doing? Me and Gabe just laughing at the whole situation. It's so funny. But, you know, that's like kind of where you want to get to with everything in your life, you know, like even your ex and your kid and your family and all that stuff, you know, no matter how bad it's hurt you, you've kind of learned from it and learned that it sucks, and you can start to detach from it. Because you know everything's already done. You're walking towards death. By the time the day you die comes, you'll have a flashback of your life as much as possible, and you'll just slip. That'll be it. Gone. It's already done. It's gonna happen to you so quick. It'll seem like, you know how it seems to take forever for Christmas when you're a kid, and then boom, it's here, and it seems like no time at all. Wait till you have kids and all that shit, and time really gets clipping. Trust me, that's true. 30 to 40 went pretty quick for me, I found. All my younger years, Christ, the summer lasted for a year, it felt like, and it's really only 3 or 4 months around here, you know? It's beautiful out today, though. This is why I love Alberta. It's so nice. Oh my God. You know, like winter sucks, no doubt, but summer, oh, it's so lush. These poplar trees smell so fucking good when they're putting their fucking buds out. You know, and what an amazing thing to be able to smell it and to have a emotion come out of that smell because it's so good. Clear blue sky, clouds spattered all over the place. Like, that's some picturesque shit, you know? I know my family came here from the States, and we came from fucking God knows wherever else, really, despite the stories. I've said my nationality a couple times, but, you know, it's just a hell of a thing to have ended up here in such a beautiful place and to know the abundance that goes on here. But, you know, so anyway, blessing gets back to, like, you know, instant peace. Like, when you start to learn and listen to these spiritual teachers about how to get there and to follow them, and, you know, emulate, you try to emulate them. Jesus even says, you'll be greater than me one day. To me, that means you won't even be born from the Son of God directly. You'll be the hand-me-down clone over and over again from the original creation, and you'll still be able to do amazing things if you follow what he says and really listen and hearken to it. The code in the Bible isn't about finding numbers and what words have been changed. Yes, some of those things are interesting. Some of those things might even be important. But the real code of the Bible is to really understand the spiritual connection to God and how to make a friend of God. And today is Saturday, and we talked about Saturday, Sunday worship a little while ago. And my honest truth is that every day is the Lord's day, and that you can be with him at the beginning of the day and think about him all day, think about all this shit going on, these animals that were created for you that your body knows how to digest, and all the science that we've learned from everything, from basically being cavemen, which is kind of funny too. Genesis says interesting things. Some things I question, but some things are like, it's funny he put them in animal skins. You know, you can picture Adam and Eve as like cavemen getting tossed out of this utopia, essentially. Golden age, you know, like fruit dangling everywhere. You don't even have to hunt. There's just amazing fruit everywhere. The book of Enoch talks about all the amazing plants that Enoch went and seen up in heaven. He was just amazed. He was in the garden again, kind of thing, right? I don't know which way to go here. I think I'm gonna fucking rip this way because I'm not done fucking talking yet. Ditch town. And you can learn about the blessing from all of that stuff if you learn it too, actually. There's a lot of blessings to be learned, I guess, in a sense, when you understand what it is. But, you know, like I say, you don't have to have all the stuff and the things and the blessed hashtag fucking going on. You Mexicans, there's this claim that poverty equals crime. But, you know, I got buddies who went rigging in Mexico, and they would go hang out sometimes in these little villages. And my buddy Joe was like, you don't believe how poor they are, but they're so happy all the time. Like, extremely happy, you know, because they know their life, they know their family, they have love, they are all of the same belief system, and they look the same, and it goes really well for them because they don't really have any diversity to deal with. See, talking about diversity is our strength. Well, I have yet to really see that in the way that they portray it. I'm not saying that can't be a peaceful environment. I watch it every day. You go to Calgary and watch the city. It's diverse and everyone's chill most of the time. No problem. Still, the alcohol maybe comes along, drugs, women, all that stuff mixed together. I don't know. Lately, though, I mean, for sure, religious stuff. I didn't really look into it, but I'm sure the Palestinians and the Arabs and the Muslims of whatever other color and stripe they've come from in Calgary probably were out fighting in the streets with the Jews in Calgary. They do that around here too. You know, this shit fucking is everywhere. Even in God's country over here, we can't keep these motherfuckers out. I say, go all live in God's country over there in that desert and leave me alone to this. This is what I love. This is what I want to live in. I don't want none of that city shit or any of that crazy fucking religious war shit. It's so crazy, man. You know, I don't subscribe to it. I understand Revelations, and I understand one way or another something like that is going to happen because it's on the thoughts and hearts of men who want it to happen or something along them lines, right? Everyone's fucking special. The three are all special, and they all think one's more special than the other. Whatever, you know, whatever. But you just go and you listen to the testimonies of the witnesses, of the spiritual one, and then you just go and you follow that and you live that no matter what the fuck else is going on. People are like not giving a fuck about COVID. It's time to go and hang out on Saturday. So yeah, you gotta just go and get that blessing. You go and you just read Jesus' first ministry right after he gets baptized by Johnny, and then you know, I'll read that. I'm gonna read that shit. That's gonna be one of the books I'm gonna do, is parts out of that, to find the spiritual stuff in it, to read it right. Fuck church. Me and my homie James, we don't subscribe to the church. We see what the church does that's fucked up. I've fucking had the true blessings in my life shown to me from Jimmy at a time when I was in the most turmoil. You know, back when YouTube, you were watching Ancient Aliens videos, and then it starts whipping you these like fucking, what did famous men say about the Jews? It's like, I don't know what. Well, Henry Ford said, holy fuck, he said what? Mark Twain said what? Pope whatever said what? You know, so I mean, it's kind of funny. YouTube is just whipping shit at you from Ancient Aliens like that, and then you start watching stuff like that, and it starts whipping all kinds of stuff at you. Pretty soon you're dwelling in the world of Saturn and the 666 star and the fucking hexagram on the planet Saturn and all that jazz. Like, whoa, what the hell? This is all getting crazy, and it's all tying into religion. So I went on a big kick with all that stuff. And yeah, I met this Jewish girl, actually. We were talking. I don't know. I gotta find her. She won't get it. She might be off of Telegram now that fucking that other one that got taken down is back up. I can't remember what it was called. The one that fucking Dan Bong Jingo or whatever runs there, or partly owns. But she said the same thing. We had the same experiences. We were talking about all that stuff and Alex Jones and shit on Telegram, and you know, it was clicking. Like, we were like, yeah, we just run out of answers. It was like, you watch all this shit and then you're like, well, then what? You know? And you've gone in so many crazy directions, it doesn't even make sense anymore. You know, it starts to fall apart. So that's kind of where I was. I was gonna try to have her on the show, talk about her experiences. I found her over in Styx Hexenhammer's, Tarl Warwick's show or whatever in the comments. And there was this like Nat Sock LARPer in there or whatever. Fucking, he goes in there and he drops famous quotes himself from certain other painters from places in Europe, and he's saying all this shit, and she's kind of offended, and I'm like, I bet she's Jewish. And you know, his avatar was even a fucking Swazi, straight up fucking white circle with the solar cross in the middle, right? Like, whoa, how is this guy even surviving on here on YouTube right now? But anyway, yeah, so I asked her straight up, I'm like, are you Jewish? She's like, yeah. And I was talking about whether or not it's patrilineal patriarchy or matriarchy, since I can't say those other words right now. She says matriarchy. That's what the rabbis say, because you can see observably that the child comes out of the mother, so at least it's half Jewish, even if there was a German in the woodpile or a Ukrainian in the woodpile or whatever the hell happened, right? So, you know, so that's what they say, but I say it's patriarchal. It's always kings, and that's how it rolls. It's men. It's funny to see the matriarchy at work, actually, in Orthodox Jewish communities. It's like the women work and look after the kids all day, and the men just go and fucking hang out and read books all day. You know, pray, rocking back and forth. It's actually an interesting practice if you've never tried it before. They say the reason is that when you rock forward, you're putting the information in front of you, and then when you pull backward, it's like breathing it in, and you pull the information in. So they're, as they say the words when they rock forward, they pull back on them to fucking pull them in to themselves. So it's like this weird meditation, actually. It's weird. I've tried it. It kind of works, though. Yeah, maybe it's a placebo, but it does seem to work. But yeah, so that's the first blessing, though, is getting the peace back in you, right? Getting the peace back in you. You'll really know when it starts to hit you and it starts to work. And you'll have to keep chasing it. It's not like you can just get it once and hold on to it and fucking, or just think that it's happened and it's over. You have to kind of keep doing the work every day. That's why I talk about repetition. That's what the word religion actually means too, is repetition. So I mean, I cuss the repetitive practices sometimes, at least if it's dogmatic. But I mean, truly though, like, you should repeat waking up every morning and saying, thanks for another day, God. Can we please have a good one? And, you know, whatever. And then then you can make that happen all day for yourself right from the beginning. In fact, I can't remember her name off heart. It's a French woman. She lived to be 120-year-old. God says, I've made you flesh after the great sin and the great flushing, so you shall now no longer live longer than 120. And the only people that I've actually seen recordably, you could say proven, how long they've lived is 120 years old. I'm just gonna sit here and chill and let these vehicles go by. They got a little ways to go, but whatever. So yeah, so 120 years old. And it seems to be the truth from that book to that. So I mean, like I said, there's some things in there that just blows my mind, and I adhere to it no problem. And then there's other times there's things that I question. I'll talk about some of the things I question too. I don't know, maybe you'll have the answer for me. You never know. But yeah, so getting that first blessing. The first blessing is getting the peace. Everything else can come after that, because you can't go and pursue any wealth that you're supposed to have, that God wants you to have. And I'm not a prosperity preacher, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying to go get the things in life that you are deserving of, that you should go and have, right? And if you're agitated all the fucking time, it makes it hard to do that stuff. Or if you're depressed, it makes it hard to do that stuff. We'll go over, like I say, it takes doing the work, and sometimes you need someone to help do the work for you. Like I've read it and done the work myself and just been filled with joy every day and had the most amazing experiences in my life come out of it. Where, I mean, I've said I'm a welder and it's been turbulent around here, and for some reason I keep getting fucking put with other people who were Christians or are Christians to work with, and we get along really well and like the same music and like same shit we used to listen to in the 90s, and now we listen to all the same shit. Had some really good times at work. It was like showing up to a good time and getting fucking paid 30-40 bucks an hour to do it. It kicked ass. But you know, those are the kind of, to me, those are blessings, and I think that those come from God hooking you up with your brothers and sisters. We're all getting hooked up big time now through YouTube, aren't we? Now we're getting it worked out. We're getting to do it with the word. We don't have to do it with anything else. No crazy wars over a chunk of fucking dirt. What the hell, man? It's ridiculous. I don't understand. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, we'll figure out how to actually get the peace and the joy into your life by reading the words, and I'll help. I'll go through it. We'll read them. I'll say the things I've learned. Like, this doesn't come from me. A lot of these discoveries came from someone else showing me and then helping me with that. So that's what I was talking about with the chaos, where you don't know what even is going on anymore. You got Alex Jones and fucking, you've got Planet X and Nibiru and fucking 2012 Mayan calendar revolution, Age of Aquarius, all these different answers and things to go on, aliens, fucking you name it, archons and eons if you get deep into the Gnostic nonsense or whatever, right? And it just gets wild, right? So it's like, what's the true answer? Well, you just go listen to Jesus. He'll tell you the only true answer that you really need to know. If you don't like Jesus, then go listen to Stuart Wilde, would be the next one I would tell you to go listen to, and find as much as you can and listen to him. And if that don't work for you, yeah, I don't know who else to really tell you to go listen to. Buddha's all right. Buddha's all right. You know, and I'm just telling you this because some people have a divine dislike for Christians and Christianity. Oh shit, there's a peace officer. Chilling to be illin'. I can't cut this off yet though. I'm on a fucking roll right now. Yeah, so okay, so about all the peace, and now I've said I've been through a lot of shit, right? That's really disturbed my fucking peace. I wanted to help everybody coming up in the world. I was raised Catholic. I used to go to the church, and as a young man, I used to hold the door open for everybody on the way out at the end of church. I loved doing it because all the old people would be, oh, thank you, you're such a nice young man. And it was just, you know, it felt good to be helpful, you know? So it was like, you know, that was how I was. And it was just really weird to me when, you know, the world started getting kind of evil even on you, you know? It was weird. And then, you know, it's, you know, you try to have a relationship, and that was a real big kicker, is that you're with somebody, and, you know, my pattern was toxic because my mom was toxic, and it isn't her fault. She came from a world where she got kind of damaged, and she's a sensitive person, and, you know, it started to come out when I was around 8 years old or something like that, right? And so I see my hurt mom, and I want to heal my hurt mom, And I want girls like that too to heal, right? That's kind of Freudian. I don't agree with everything Freud says, not like I've read it all either, but I do notice the patterns in relationships, and I've seen women pick the man that they want to be with in their father, kind of thing, right? So if you really want to change your life and your family's trajectory, and you might really need to do some personal work if things aren't going well. And if it's still held together enough and you've got time to do it, then good, go try to save it, probably by doing something like this. Psychology is good. It teaches you the problems really well. Psychology is actually a really good science in that regard, but it doesn't teach you anything about healing yourself really all that well. It just hopes that you'll go start doing the right thing and life will go better. And their extension, if things aren't going well enough, just by you trying to figure it out, by talking to them and sorting your own problems out, by talking about it, is to give you medication, right? I can agree with it to some degree, and I'm not going to say what's right and wrong for everyone, because I fucking medicate myself. Now, I would do it every day whether I'm happy or sad. Nonetheless, I smoke my weed, but some people, like I say, I can't decide for everybody what's right and wrong for them. Now, if it came to crack or meth or something like that, I know that's wrong. I've seen that be wrong in so many people's lives over the last 10 years in this province that I just know that that's not a good thing, all right? Now, to be honest, I've dabbled, but none of that stuff ever took with me. I was like, why the fuck would you want to throw your shit away? I could see my life going down the hill pretty quick if I kept this up. And I just had a divine dislike for it anyway. It just never felt right. It was bad stuff to me. Some mushrooms and weed, right? The hippie shit. I'd like to get some peyote though. Actually, there's a grow shop in Calgary that sells peyote because it's not a banned substance in Alberta. Maybe one day you want to figure that out. Look it up online, figure it out. Go and meet the Navajo and maybe just get some, whatever. But yeah, so getting those blessings in. So that's the first blessing though, is the peace that you get. That's the first real blessing that'll bring everything else. So I think that's kind of what I was going to get at. Oh, I was going to get at too, the kind of shit that blessing will heal in you once you really figure it out and make it work, is that, like, I had the toxic mom, so I had the toxic relationship one after another. I've got a kid with someone in a toxic relationship, and that's going really bad these days. My kid went from loving me and listening to me about all the things I was trying to show her to protect her, to her mom being able to get into her ear and get her to confess everything, and it's all been twisted. And I understand my ex is she's a far leftist at this point. When we were together, she was, things were different 10, 15 years ago. Things have gotten right out of control lately, right? And with that out of controlness, she's gone farther to the left. I didn't go farther to the right. I'm on the way of ejecting, right? And I was for a while, 5 years ago. For a little bit there last year, I was like, please Trump win. I don't want Biden to win. Please. No, not more BLM and Antifa Marxist nonsense. What the hell is happening here, right? And you can tie that into the World Economic Forum with their fucking America must collapse, and all of these victims need equity, and every liberal government around the world needs to fix the equity problem with all these people that are fucking marginalized. It's marginalized. That sounds like a fucking cheap way to lube yourself up. Just break out the Parquet, the Baysel, the no-name margarine, and just slather yourself up and fucking squeeze some fat chicks through some doors. Oh shit, I just ruined this whole fucking 23 minutes by saying that. I'll be kicked off YouTube for that one. This is comedy, folks. This is just my Andrew Dice Clay coming out from the 90s when my mind got polluted with Eddie Murphy and Andrew Dice Clay. But yeah, back to the blessings again. Blessings. I'd be a hell of a minister. Jesus Christ. I swear in the Lord's name. It's in front of a church like that, trying to give a session that wouldn't go so well. I'd have to jump immediately in Matthew where it says that you can swear in his name and be forgiven, and show people that. I had an argument with some kid on YouTube about that a little while ago. He was like, yeah, you have to follow the 10 Commandments. You don't know what you're talking about. Because some guy was like, man, I have to swear about this. Jesus Christ, he writes. And I'm like, well, don't you worry about that. I said, you can be forgiven for that. You just ask. And then some smart ass whips out the 10 Commandments, right? And I'm like, well, okay, bro. I'm like, so what's your deal? What's your faith? Oh, I'm a white Christian. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, go. I dig out the verse from Matthew. I don't remember the number on it, unfortunately. That's something I need to get better at, is doing that. But that's I whip it out to him like, actually, here you go. Didn't hear back from him. That's good. I hope he learned something. I prayed over it. Teach that poor kid something, or he's going to be one of them bad Christians out there that don't really represent the faith all that well. Yeah, blessing. That's the first blessing. That's the only blessing. Everything comes from that, because when you're living in that, and you know God is truly with you, and you can feel it, because that peace came just like out of nowhere, like a true miracle washes over you. You know, that was all, even if that is all chemical and you're super logical about this, then whatever, it still worked, and now you can function again. Now it doesn't matter what you've done. You've forgiven people who've hurt you. You've done the same, you know, for the reverse, and all those things are keys to getting that healing in you, so that you can just walk towards heaven at the end of your life and just grin the whole way. And if the soldiers come up and they put the gun to your head, you just smile and say, send me on to heaven. Now that's if you're really brave. I might fight just because I'm a paintballer and a fucking video gamer, and I might be like, oh, okay, here we go. I get to see what I can do for real now. Help me, Jesus. Help me have one good last fight. And be like, forgive me for this one, Jesus. Crom, I seldom pray to you. You do not listen. But if you're going to grant me one thing, grant me revenge. That's a little Conan for you. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's good enough. I got to go get a tarp. It's time for me to go get a tarp. I had some thoughts. I got them busted out. The sun is shining. It felt right. I hope that was informative and helpful. And like I said, I'll keep on plucking away at this kind of stuff. And as I said too, I know I'm lazy and a procrastinator, please forgive me, but I will split the channels. So I mean, if you want to fucking just play around with the problem end, and that's what your kick is, cool. If you want to go more down this road, then that'll be another venue. I used to think one channel suited all and just put files everywhere, but it really isn't true. That's not the way it is. So I'll set it up. Maybe you'll enjoy both, whatever. It'll all be good. And I don't know. I have lots of thoughts. You never know what I'm going to do. I never know what I'm going to do. But when the spontaneous moment comes, you know, I might use this channel to just whip out controversial shit to see if it gets nuked or not. You know what I mean? It can be the sacrificial altar. I don't really like the idea of that because I lost everything I had. So some of the shit that I've done is already up on here with my own like work, like going through articles and reading and all that shit. I don't know, maybe it's just better to practice what a guy preaches and try not to be too damn controversial. But at the same time, people need to know the damn truth, and that's mostly what's getting silenced. But that's okay, that's what these spoken wordies will come in handy for too. And when I get a split screen, there'll be places I can take yous and show you in the live stream, and hopefully YouTube doesn't recognize it while it's going on and shut it down. Because there's things that are still out there, but they cannot be re-uploaded. Oh, that's so terrible. I'm surprised they haven't greased that shit now that they've seen someone else try to re-up it. But I don't know, like I said, there's been weird dark corners at YouTube. I think that what happened was they tried to shadow people, and some of them didn't get quite shadowed quite right. So yeah, we get funny looks from people driving around with my phone. Oh boy, I don't know. Innisfail, please don't judge me. Look at that guy's Camaro, actually. That's kind of fucking slicker. It's a Firebird. It's all fiery. It is. It's a fiery Firebird. Cool, bro. And then you got homie on his scooter. He's going to do well in life one day, though. He knows the value of $1. All right. Peace out.